Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Data Dispatch. Hope everybody has had a wonderful day as the market continues to rally higher, setting new all-time highs, all during a government shutdown. You can see that the market really doesn't care about that at all. In terms of the stocks, we're still continuing to see a lot of momentum. Palantir secures a very big partnership today. We'll be talking about that and getting more involved with an AI and healthcare with a very big collaboration. On top of that, you have crypto that is continuing to climb. Ethereum now at about 4,700. BMNR is looking good as Tom Lee is still continuing to acquire an insane amount of Ethereum. And we'll be talking about also OpenAI makes a huge deal with AMD, giving it a new bid above $200. So if you are a new or returning viewer, hit that like button, subscribe for daily videos. We're trying to hit 30,000 by the end of the year and we're climbing fast. Let's see if we can do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now let's pop it up on the screen here. Let's talk about Palantir. Back up at 180, up about 4% in the day. Remember, Palantir had that kind of whole hit piece by that Reuters article, basically pushing it here to this volume, kind of small volume shelf area at about 170, and it climbs back up into the middle of this consolidation phase where Palantir has been choppy right here at 180, right in the middle of this zone. Now, when Palantir is able to push above 184, kind of get back into this breakout area, possibly retest all-time highs, that could happen depending on the macroeconomic structure and how these catalysts are going to continue to play out, because Palantir is continuing to secure deals. In the overnight hours, we see down about 83 cents. Futures are slightly down. That doesn't really make me concerned at all because we've had a lot of green days for the general market. In terms of the big deal that Palantir has secured right here with OneMetNet. Palantir here, they say AIP helps us to revolutionize the ability to deliver high quality regulatory compliant data at remarkable speed. So OneMetNet, they are selecting Palantir to advance healthcare AI and data analytics. More in the article right here. Basically, access to healthcare data remaining as a key barrier to unlocking, they say, this $868 billion market opportunity in AI-driven healthcare by 2030. Now, other big stocks we talked about with AI and healthcare, such as Tempest, we've covered on the channel before, are also making some big strides in terms of return on capital and investment and what they're doing in terms of development into AI. So the fact here, AIP, you can see, can work in all different types of niches and is now even getting more integrated into the whole AI healthcare niche, which I think is going to be huge over the next 5 to 10 years. So they're working to help empower life sciences, medical device, and research organizations here by regulatory grade clinical data and advancing analytics to accelerate the development of cutting-edge medical solutions efficiently. So what you can see here, Palantir continuing to utilize their platform, like I said, to basically analyze and bring efficiency to all different types of data stacks in different types of industries. And you can see OneMetNet here is another one. So Palantir is continuing to establish those key relationships. And I think that we talked about this before. If Palantir is able to retest these all-time highs, any type of a breakthrough, $200 is on the table, especially now that it's back in the zone right here. This is just going to keep remaining choppy until we see some type of a breakthrough type of technical event. Now, let's talk about BMNR. Comes up about 11% on the day at 62.65, which is at a very interesting area. Toggling over here to Ethereum over the last 7 days, up about 11 to 12%. Basically, Ethereum hits 4,700 here. Now the big question is, we're early in this kind of Q4 whole crypto anticipation for, these all-time high areas. We just had Bitcoin that hit an all-time high. In terms of the testing of all-time highs, that's around the 5,000 zone for Ethereum. I think that could be tested here in the near future, in the short term, especially during a government shutdown. You see a lot of money and liquidity coming into crypto. Looking over, correlating here to BMNR at 62.76. This is an interesting technical area for BMNR, especially because right here, this is where we have last tops before the last swing down that we saw at the last bottom here at 48. So right here, the last time we've had the swing high to about 63 is right at the zone. If it breaks through and is able to hold above this, you're probably going to see the retesting here, the mid 70s, low 70s. And if it gets through that, then hey, a lot of people calling BMNR a $100 stock. That's where, all hands are off the table. Any possibility could be there, and especially vice versa. If we see any big swings, this is a very volatile stock. So also please do your own due diligence and be comfortable with a lot of volatility, especially with BMNR. In terms of the actual individual ownership of Ethereum, in terms of Tom Lee, he is purchasing BMNR like we're about to run out of Ethereum. You can see here, Amit, another big content creator, love his updates, always posting on X, says now owns 2.83 million Ethereum with a total native asset value of 13.4 billion. And this is the 28th most liquid stock in the US, trading 2.5 billion per day. Talking about here, Tom Lee spending in Singapore at Token 2049, meeting with crypto, blockchain industry, just spreading the word. Tom Lee has been very bullish on his case with utility in terms of Ethereum, tokenization, stable coins, and especially the US government's and whole integration of traditional finance and the collaboration with traditional finance and crypto. Right here, BitMine now owns over 2% of the Ethereum token supply, and as we know, they want to get via that whole power of numbers to the alchemy of 5%. That is the overall goal, and they are purchasing at a very rapid rate to try to get to that goal. Let's talk about the markets today before we talk about some other interesting things that are occurring tomorrow. Stock futures slightly lower. Like I said, we don't have any data that's coming out because all that is in purgatory right now due to the whole government shutdown. But as we can see, we've talked about before, we don't really care about the government shutdown. The market doesn't really care. And we've actually seen bullishness in previous governmental shutdowns. So I could care less about that right now. You see gold surging to an all-time high. Alternative assets, non-fiat assets are going to an all-time high. And I think that could have an influence actually, because why are these, Bitcoin getting a really good bid right now? In terms of what the only data that we're going to be getting is minutes from the Fed. That's going to be coming out on Wednesday, because I guess that's all that we can really try to analyze in terms of the macro structure. But commentary expected this week here. You're going to get some commentary on Thursday, I believe. So nonetheless, not a big ton of stuff that's happening within the actual economy, broader kind of headline type of stuff. S&P 500 right here at 6740, above 6,700 now, and holding above 6,700 quite well, continuing to set all-time highs. It's just kind of can't be sitting on the sidelines right now for me personally. I did kind of a little bit between that 66 and 6,700 because there's a lot of resistance there. But now that we're through here, and especially within over the next 2 months, we typically see a lot of bullishness into the market. People saying, hey, the blow off top. We're starting to see some big people on Wall Street saying that the blow off top could possibly not even be here yet. Who cares if we're in this whole AI bubble? I'm going to take advantage of it and kind of ride that train. What we do see with Robinhood right now, in terms of the SPY overnight hours, like I said, futures down about 72 cents, a little bit of a pullback here. That is definitely warranted and could be expected with a lot of the green days that we have had recently. Big news here. AMD stock surges as you have OpenAI. Who do they decide to partner with? AMD. Under this deal, they're deploying 6 gigawatts of AMD graphic processing units or GPUs over a multi-year generational period. Wow. And they're also warranting up to 160 million shares of AMD stock that will vest as milestones are achieved. So OpenAI giving AMD a huge bid right here. If we can find it on the dang watch list. Come on, where is AMD? There it is. Pops up, opens up here at 203, pushes and launches up here to 226 before pulling back to about this $200 level. In the overnight hours at 207, AMD finally getting some love as it was consolidating for a long time here in the mid 160s. So AMD bulls, anybody that had positions here, definitely reaping some of the rewards. I don't currently have a position in AMD, but just in terms of the general confidence that this gives to the whole chip market and the whole AI industry, very bullish on that. So quite a cool deal that we are seeing. Another big one that's important to talk about is ACHR. ACHR right now, whoa, look at this green candle. ACHR right now is getting a huge bid, testing these all-time highs here at about this kind of 1370 area with a ton of volume coming in. That is because we have the Tesla event tomorrow, and a lot of people are anticipating a possible ACHR partnership. I'm personally not in the position right here. Maybe if I entered in around that $10, $9 zone where there's a decent amount of support, maybe that would make more sense, but I'm not going to chase right here personally, it's up 17% of the day, just due to the fact, what if it was not a partnership that was announced, or what if this is kind of like a buy the rumor, sell the news event? If ACHR gives above that 13 to 14, if it breaks through, gets more into that price discovery mode, hey, that's a different situation, but I want to see what's going to happen around this resistance area right here. I'm not going to be too bad if I miss out on this trade. I'm not crazy big into the whole, vertical takeoff type of niche. Is very interesting though, a very cool technology. Just doesn't, I haven't done a ton of personal research behind it. But if you guys want to hear more about it, can definitely make some more content on about it. That's all I have for you guys. Peace out, take care, and I'll catch you guys later.